$100 million Pepe whale is secretly holding this meme coin. In the current market, you can be allocating less than $20,000 and effectively becoming a millionaire in upcoming several months. The key to do it right is to pick the right assets. Right now, today, I am presenting this type of asset. I am presenting 100x meme coin on Ethereum, the most flooded chain at this stage, with the highest market share, and the most flooded sector of crypto assets, meme coins. This is the time when you accumulate these things to really make it big, to make sure that in the future, people will talk about you, that you were lucky. And yet, you perfectly predicted the trend, you bought in, you had the conviction, and you held. People will call you lucky. I am presenting 100x Ethereum meme coin. 100x meme coin structure, ecosystem to pump next, prerequisites, how to pick meme coin, why this meme coin, competition and analysis. This mirror board essentially consists of 20 different points, so we'll go through all of them. Why Ethereum might be bullish? I have a strong opinion here that Ethereum actually is the next to do well in this market, as we have to see our alt season. Alt season is not happening without Ethereum, and I do believe that we never have seen the bull market for Ethereum yet. And I would even argue that the current situation is quite similar to the things that were happening in the previous cycle, where Ethereum was also kind of not doing well up until the very last moments of the cycle out there. So we'll talk about this. First of all, a very interesting piece of chart, the fractal comparison that I wanted to share is the chart of Ethereum at this stage, since pretty much 2020, right? And the chart of Bitcoin around the time of 2020 COVID drop. The chart definitely repeats the situation on Ethereum right here. And like here during the COVID drop, everyone was bearish. BTC was at $4,000. No one was expecting anything at this stage. And what happened right after is that just on this time frame of 1 year, Bitcoin actually went to $64,000, which means that BTC did 16x's. Imagine Ethereum doing 16x's from the current levels, which would be $32,000. This is not obviously something that I'm planning for, just something interesting to speculate on. Moving further, this is something I was sharing in the yesterday video as well. This is just the speculation at this stage on the potential assets in Bitcoin strategic reserve that we actually might see a larger portion of Ethereum out there. Just a speculation. So we won't be focusing a lot of attention on this one. Ethereum going sideways at 1800 and everyone calling for 12 to 1400. Felt like Bitcoin sideways at 16K and everyone calling for $10,000. The current situation sentiment wise and how people are bearish is very, very similar to us when we were at $16,000 and nothing was pretty much happening on the market and people were shorting. At $16,000, majority of the market were actually shorting BTC. And then it went up to 19 to 20 and eventually broke through. Back then, every TA believer missed the bottom. Once Bitcoin reclaimed $20,000, it started looking more obvious. Ethereum just reclaimed $2,000. Would be a shame if. Retardio. Breaking. BlackRock says Ethereum ETFs are underperforming due to no staking. As far as you know, right now, staking is not applied in Ethereum ETF. There are processes out there that are pushing to make sure that Ethereum ETFs, they will be providing the staking feature. And speculation on the market is that a retail from the Wall Street might actually quite like this thing because it would be closer to the type of assets that they're used to stocks that they're buying on the stock market, because stocks, they have the time when you will be making back most of your investment based on the yield that these assets essentially have. And Ethereum highly likely will have this yield implemented as well. But SEC approval is likely since the pro-crypto stance. Ethereum is ready to pump soon. BlackRock says Ethereum ETFs are underperforming because they don't offer staking rewards. Ethereum starting to look a lot more springy down here. That's essentially a default spring pattern right here. And you can see that we are kind of following the price action on this pattern at this stage applied to the current chart. So a bunch of Ethereum hopium at this stage. And if you believe that Ethereum will perform, you probably would think about certain hedge, certain bet that you want to make in the ecosystem, preferably not to spend a lot of capital at this stage, but make sure that if it actually does well, and if majority of crypto Twitter is wrong, and usually most people on crypto Twitter are actually wrong, like the major opinion on crypto Twitter is usually wrong. Like the only utility of crypto Twitter is actually to counter trade it, right? Just if they're wrong, being bearish on Ethereum, there is something you might be putting some money into to catch most of the upside of the things that actually might be happening. And I'm presenting this today to you. This is the result of my thought process for good last several weeks. The other question of the market that is present is that projects that actually need some narrative to pump, even Ethereum. And I wanted kind of to share the case of Lithium, which is a layer 1 small cap blockchain. Nothing is happening on this chain at this stage. A Lithium case in February 2024. So if we can check based on market cap, the market cap of this thing actually went to $270 million, which is quite insane. And something I would want to compare it with is the TVL that actually was present on this chain at that time. This happened at the start of March 2024. And here is TVL in March 2024. You can see that TVL was $10 million. Which is pretty insane. This is very low for any type of chain. No activity was present on this chain as well. So it was pumping just because, right? Most things to reach insane crazy valuations in crypto, they don't need like this narrative that is present on the market, right? Although you might actually argue that for a broader move on the market, we definitely do need some type of a narrative. And the last two moves that happened since the end of 2023 till the mid of 2024, I would say even till the start of Q2, and the second pump that happened since the end of Q3 till the start of Q1 2025, they had two definitive narratives that actually happened. First one was Bitcoin ETF 2023-2024. Second one was Trump pump. Somewhere from the middle of July till essentially January, till the inauguration date of Trump. In crypto, all the talk about narrative to pump is a bearish bottom of the cycle talk. Once the narrative is obvious, it's often already priced in. I would say that mainly the pumpage happened this cycle, 100%. We had an influence of Bitcoin ETF. But in general, these are just liquidity cycles out there. A narrative will appear 100% because M2 money supply is expanding at this stage. And BTC usually follows it with a 56-day delay. Most outsides leverage bet right now. Ethereum is at the Pika bottom FUD-wise. Everyone is bashing Ethereum. You can check out stuff from Ansem as well. Nothing is happening. No one is seeing reasons for Ethereum actually to come back. This is probably the reason why it will come back, right? Meme coins are at the Pika bottom as well, arguably recovering slightly already. So a lot of the memes that actually showed 2x, 3x numbers since the recent bottom, right? But overall, we're definitely at the bottom for meme coins and at the bottom of the meme coin thesis. It's very, very interesting that the same influencers that were screaming about meme coin super cycle at the exact meme coin top, when I was screaming that meme coins are probably not going to do well because BTC dominance is dropping, right now they're saying that meme coins are dead. Pretty insane. Meme coins are at the Pika bottom as well, arguably recovering slightly already. The most outsized bet right now, Ethereum meme coins. If you just combine two of these things, the most FUDed chain people expect a lot from, right? And the mind share for this thing is crazy, right? And then the most FUDed narrative currently, meme coins. And there is, like, I would say that the fact memes actually go this low in the current downturns of the market is actually the future of meme coins, because they give you an opportunity to enter at the current prices. They give you the opportunity to acquire the supply. They give you the opportunity to be exposed to crazy expansion in the market caps that I think some of them will actually have. The question then is to choose out of the options that you have. There are a bunch of different meme coins out there, and it's very, very important to choose the right ones. Breaking, Ethereum will drop to 0 in 7 days. Vitalik Buterin might fork Ethereum as a last resort soon. Scammers stole over 1.5 billion Ethereum and destroyed the ecosystem. 370k views. All meme coins are going to 0. People are realizing they are holding something which has no value. It's officially over. Thanks for playing. 1.1 million views. Despite the fact I was saying that I do think that ALS actually going to outperform, because with pumpage of Ethereum, we should be seeing the drop of BTC dominance, and alts, they should be doing quite well. Alts are essentially native coins for Ethereum, but memes that are more native coins for Ethereum, because the vast majority of the liquidity, present on meme coins is actually on chain. They're paired to Ethereum itself. Yeah, as soon as Ethereum hits up for real, maybe the quantitative easing begins, Ethereum memes will go wild. 100% I do believe that as well. I do believe once we are seeing a slight turn in terms of the price action of Ethereum, meme coins on Ethereum will go wild, the same way they essentially did last year. It's honestly very crazy for me to see how well the sentiment can be applied in this market, because some of these memes, they're so low at this stage. How to choose a meme coin according to Murad. All the communities on Ethereum are oftentimes doing well and reaching crazy valuations even after months of long-term consolidation. Not a very frequent case, but happens. Study coins that are 1+ year old can become very big. Survived multiple minus 70% drops. Hold account growing every week. Have people hustling hard for free. Communities are more active than ever. Use bubble maps and holder scan to check distribution. I do believe that the meme that I'm actually going to present is like that. Is meme coin that perfectly fits Murad criteria out there. And I would say that this criteria kind of pushes away most of the Solana memes out there, because a lot of them, they're quite new, right? 1+ year old. These are mostly, I would say, these are Ethereum meme coins from the time when Pepe was launching, maybe slightly later, right? There are very few Sol meme coins from my point of view that essentially would be able to meet these criteria. But this is just one of them. I'm just sharing the opinion of people that are seen as experts in the niche to strengthen up the things that I'm sharing. What's the next part of the cycle should be, from my point of view? BTC dominance drop, most likely Ethereum or quality alts leading, quality alt season. A lot of people from previous cycle joining, plus new people coming as well, potentially from stock market. We never seen a major rotation from stocks to crypto this cycle thus far. We never have seen that. The rotation from stocks to crypto. And usually it is happening. It should be happening. Mid and low cap stocks and crypto. Memes will still do well, and if you got big bags in the current memes that are popular, you should be doing alright, especially Ethereum memes from my point of view. It's quite interesting that Ethereum memes kind of became the funnel for Ethereum liquidity. Instead of buying Ethereum or longing it, market participants decided to buy memes instead, which resulted in Pepe being the most performing coin this cycle thus far, doing effectively 40x with size from the accumulation bottom of 2023. So accumulation bottom for Pepe was somewhere around $300 million in market cap. The absolute tops that it reached so far was $12 billion, which is effectively a 40x with size, because at 300 million market cap coin, you can definitely be buying with size. And it's very interesting. It's very interesting that majority of liquidity that should have been in Ethereum actually went into Ethereum meme coins. And I believe liquidity flow into Ethereum memes when Ethereum will be pumping shall resume. Because current market participants, I don't believe they will be very interested in buying long in Ethereum. I do believe they will be trying to find a better exposure leverage bet for the money that they would want to put in the ecosystem. And these are essentially meme coins. They're not going anywhere. The biggest crash is about to happen soon. It's not Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any alt. It's a crash of Bitcoin dominance. Alt season 2.0 is coming. I do believe that Ethereum meme coins, along with alts, are actually going to do quite well, right? Moving further into the presentation. How to pick a meme. Easiest meme to sell to the next buyer is the one that has a narrative that's easy to understand to both crypto native and retail market participant. I was thinking on this extensively, and I just don't think that the narrative I'm about to present is any easier to understand. It's widely marketed between a range of crypto natives, both from Ethereum and Solana side, and might serve as a great hedge for Solana focused people that don't want to miss on the Ethereum and quality utility run. Because if you would essentially just catch a default crypto market participant out of the crowd and ask him like where meme coin craziness was happening this cycle, he would tell you Solana, right? But biggest gains in terms of meme coins, they happened on Ethereum, mostly because of Pepe, right? And largest memes on Ethereum like Mock, like SPX, they were reaching billions of dollars in market cap as well, right? On Sol, we had WIF, we had Popcat, right? But biggest gains in memes in terms of the how much you were able to make from the point of view of the meme coin achieving the largest market cap possible. Definitely wasn't in Ethereum, in Pepe specifically, right? And this is something I do believe will actually continue currently. And right now, I do think that we have the option to position ourselves to be exposed to this growth moving further. I was looking for tokens that has an option to go from around $2 million market cap to hundreds of millions specifically on Ethereum, following the outline provided earlier. And I don't see better alternatives at the same market cap with the same upside. I'm talking about the coin that I'm about to present and to share. Reference to my Nira video is good here. Nira is Dogecoin's sister. Easy to sell narrative. So when you're thinking about meme coins, like the core of my thought process here, I want you to understand this. The core of my thought process is to make sure that I'm focusing on the meme that is both easy to sell to, easy to explain to, because explanation here is selling. Once people understand anything, like something, they can buy, right? And that's why like meme coins are such a great asset, because they're way easier to understand than altcoins, because they have like technicals underneath them, and you have to know technicals at a certain point, at a certain level, in order to comfortably be getting into them, right? Memes, you just understand right away. And that's why they are great as speculative assets. So the easier the narrative is, the easier for people from the market to actually buy it, right? And my goal with the thought process that I had is to focus on a meme that has the narrative easy to understand for both crypto native and retail market participant as well. Something I'm sharing today, I believe, even easier to sell and appealing to a wider audience. And it's also kind of like, it also found product market fit in a way, because market definitely knows this coin and market definitely appreciates this coin as well. It's just that information that I will be sharing, I don't think it's widely known. It's not even like accepted by the market. I don't think it's widely known at this stage, which is pretty important. Most Ethereum OG memes are high, despite the fact it's up around 10x since the bear market accumulation bottoms. I'm talking about the meme that I'm about to present. There is a very small amount of OG Ethereum memes that are not higher at this stage since the time of the bear market. Right now, I'm looking for the fastest horse and making bets according to my view on the Ethereum and continuation of things that might be happening on the market. So right now, I'm looking for the fastest horse to have exposure to once Ethereum start to perform. You have to understand this, right? I think that what I would help with this video with is I would help to target the accumulation. I'm not expecting like these things to pump heavily currently. I do think it might just help with the accumulation at this stage. And SPX I essentially have as an example. It's a nice OG Ethereum meme, which is quite high. And there are a bunch of Ethereum memes out there. They're quite high. So like, it's not like they will have a run from $2 million to $300 million, right? It's not like you will be getting 150x on them in that way, right? But they provide safety at the same time. If something is like 15, 20, $40 million market cap range, you're buying currently, most likely you will be making your X. But will you be making the most amount of X's? I don't think so. Why not Solana? It's very, very important. I want to be able to buy something and hold, and Solana offers plenty of opportunity for it right now. It's just that in my opinion, Solana had the bull market already, and Ethereum along with alts did not. Very, very important take. In my opinion, Solana had the vast majority of the bull market already. Ethereum and altcoins, they did not have it. Ethereum is up 2x since the exact bottoms of the bear market at this stage, right? Solana, how much? Probably like 60, not 60, probably like 20x's, right? I also do think that Solana meme coin game is quite efficient at this stage. And this is the issue. This is not a positive statement. And I will explain this to you. Why? Why Solana meme coin game being efficient is actually bad if you want to be playing meme coins. The beauty of meme coins was how inefficient the entire market was. Many coins at a certain point were fairly large to a certain degree. Everyone had time to buy into memes early with a pretty small barrier to entry. You could have bought into Bobo, you could have bought into Bonk in the bear market even. Cabals were nice with some sort of a longer term vision, not trying to cheat on the first day. 100%, like still some Ethereum communities, and I do believe that the Ethereum community of the coin that I'm about to share, the way they're operating, they're quite similar. I'm getting these feelings from even like the bear market type of communities around these coins. I would say that the way you see people around meme coins operating currently is kind of closer to the way that bear market meme coin communities were actually operating. Like Pepe community in the bear market was just awesome. Like Bobo, funny, nice, awesome as well. Different goals, because people were not even thinking that these assets that they can actually reach this type of valuation. So they just like the meme, right? But as with all inefficiencies, they get filled and become fully efficient in their functioning. For meme coins, efficiency looks like this. Core inner circle of influencers buying new coins early with insider intel. The same capital groups coming together to launch every new big meme trend. Bot traders copying insider wallets. New trends become priced in immediately. Holders have no intentions to hold. Supply gets sniped and bundled in ways that you can't even track. Fees accumulated through liquidity pools and tokens dumped fast. Thousands of quick crack tokens launched daily, systematically farming naive meme coin traders. Efficient markets suck ass. This is why trading forex sucks so much. Algorithmic trading from the largest hedge funds with the most advanced trading teams monopolize all the edge through simply having better trading systems that you can ever have. That's why in stock market the only way to make money for default people is just buy and hold, and arguably in crypto as well. If you're in crypto, just remember, you're here because it is the most inefficient market on earth, but only if you are at the bleeding edge and catch madness pre-saturation. So that's what I'm saying. On Sol, it's very efficient at this stage. You have people tracking wallets, you have different cabals, they know all the influencers. I'm in these chats, like they're sharing the meme coin and they're saying this influencer bot, this, like everything is priced in. They're farming on the LP, they're doing all this stuff, like it's pretty insane. And you either have to acquire the same tool set, right? And I'm thinking from the point of view of the person just coming from the outside. 99% chance they just will be losing money because there is no inefficiencies left for them in order to actually make money, right? On Ethereum, this situation is different because mainly on Ethereum at this stage, the way you would be making money with your memes is just buying and holding. Nothing pretty much changed. There is still a strong holding culture out there on Ethereum. And this is the type of money making I like in this space. I want to be a meme coin investor. I don't want to be a meme coin trader. I'm a bad trader. I know it. I buy stuff, I hold, and it appreciates in value because I bought something before people actually saw that there is an inefficiency. Like something should be happening that should be increasing the undervalue of this asset. Efficiency of Solana meme coin market leaves few dollars to make for average Joe, which does not attract average Joe to join. Not even talking about average Joe here. Some altcoin holders, whales out there, each and every time. And like you probably have seen these posts from Alex Becker, from big people in the industry as well. They were saying each and every time I'm trying to play Sol meme coin casino, I'm losing money because it's structured in this way. Players there are professional who are playing on a daily basis. For average person out there, the only way to be exposed to this crazy upside that these memes can actually have and will have is to buy something with a good narrative and just hold and do nothing. The beauty of meme coins was how inefficient the entire market was. Sol memes, they're not the same way at this stage. Narrative plus Bobo comparison. We are coming closer to the meme that I would like to share, right? To be honest, all I was thinking about is finding the next Bobo. This is the thought process that I essentially had in my head for the last several weeks. I know there is the next Bobo out there. I know there is something you can be putting $20,000-$30,000 in currently in the current market conditions and taking out $1 million in 6 months from here. I know there is an asset like this. The core thing is to identify it, to recognize it, to accumulate, right? I think something I'm actually presenting today is this type of asset. It at least has high probability of being this type of asset in comparison to everything else I'm seeing on the market at this stage. To be honest, all I was thinking about is finding the next Bobo. The issue right now is that there could not be next Bobo, as it has very specific people supporting it that should not be repositioning into anything else, right? Plus, the content is quite unique and community is great. Like, just look at the picture of this bear, like it's insane. It's insanely good. Like, it's just like a default 40 years old, bald, fat guy, like working the minimal wage somewhere. Like, he's nice. You come to a store, you're talking to him like it's insanely good. So the attempt here is find something that might show similar price action that Bobo showed at the start of 2024, going from $1 to $2 million in market cap, to $80 million, to $140 million, to $250 million in market cap over the course of several months. Bobo reached $250 million from $1 million. It was since February till July. Since February till July. It showed pretty much 250x if you would calculate from $1 million. Insane, right? And still, I'm saying bull market did not happen. It did not happen. All we saw is just like the first thing, the first part from my point of view. It's a hard task as there are almost no meme that is being used at the same frequency, also considered Pepe beta, and has the same value to the market. Or is there? Narrative plus Bobo comparisons. Other issue that is present is that whatever is at the lower valuation of the market, around $2 million in market cap, doesn't have the same strong candle around it or the same strength of the community. However, it is also an opportunity. That is the reason why something can do 100x plus. Although I do believe Bobo can be doing 100x plus from here, if Ethereum will be bullish, and in my opinion, Ethereum should be bullish. One of the reasons Bobo pumped is that it's a mascot of the bear market, and we were coming out of the deepest and coldest bear market in the end of 2023. Right now, however, we are coming out of the bull market. Are you ready, guys? Can you guess what is it? I have some green behind my back. Can you guess what it is? And will you actually agree with my thesis? Or would you think that this is wrong? I will be looking forward to actually talking to you in the comments on this one. Because when I am presenting a thesis, I always want to have a constructive discussion. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe you're seeing some flaws that I am not seeing. The bull market meme. Hail Mumu. Mumu on Ethereum. Not on Solana. Mumu on Ethereum specifically. This is the meme I'm talking about. And right now we'll figure out why. Most of the market knows about Mumu on Solana. However, Ethereum version was the first one and reached $35 million market cap at the peak of the end of April 2024. A lot of the market knows about Mumu on Ethereum 100%, which effectively was 200x since the bottom of the bear market accumulation range. So in the depths of the bear market, Mumu on Ethereum was 160k in market cap, and the all-time highs were $35 million, which means that it did 200x as well, similar to Bobo, which is pretty insane, right? It's just that the size you were able to enter into this one definitely was smaller. I'm bullish on Ethereum in the upcoming several months, bullish on memes and bullish on crypto. And what can be easier than buying a bull on the chain you are bullish on the chain that I think should be outperforming moving further because of the reason I explained. Memecoin market on Solana is too efficient. It does not attract new players into it. The narrative of the market, the atmosphere of the market, the setup of the market should be changing. It should be changing closer to what people are used to, closer to default alt season, closer to Ethereum leading, closer to the type of market that happened 4 years back, right? And this is the edge that people that have this experience would essentially have. Because people that just joined this cycle, that only know Solana and sold meme coins and were quite successful, they're screaming about the fact that the market is dead. Nothing is there. And they will be sucking hard, heavily, not understanding what is happening. Because they will not be able to position into alts. They don't know what altcoins are. All they can is maybe like buy into some majors like Long Sui. They don't want to be buying memes on Ethereum out there. They don't want to hold as well. But this is how they can actually outperform. There is a reason I said at the beginning. So people would be able to get exposure to the potential breakout of Ethereum. And the scenario I'm explaining. Just by allocating some of the funds, not a lot because the market cap of this thing is still quite small, into this asset. From my point of view, because I was looking for the fastest horse, from my point of view, this is the ideal hedge on the marketplace, and I will explain. I will explain this later. Solana version marketing spend. So we obviously have Mumu on Solana as well, and here I'm specifically talking about Mumu on Ethereum. Solana version of Mumu spent quite a lot on marketing the narrative and make it known between the new market participants. So we are in a very, very unique place because new soul people, new guys that just joined this cycle, they know this meme. Old guys on Ethereum that were trenching meme coins in the summer of 2023, they very, very well know this meme, 100%, right? They know it very well. And retail, What can be easier than buying a bull in the bull market on the chain that is outperforming? Nothing can be easier. And people also see this as Pepe beta, because in general it is a Pepe beta. It's Ethereum meme coin. Bobo is being seen as Pepe beta. Mumu is oftentimes moving along with Bobo at this stage, and we will talk about this thing as well. Ethereum OGs know there is much richer history to the coin than most of the market even imagines. The lore behind Mumu is quite nice. It was born in the depths of the bear market and is 1.5 year plus old, which complies to Murat thesis perfectly. I think Mumu actually was launched 3 days after Pepe was launched. There is also nothing similar from narrative point of view. And Solana meme marketing spent held with recognition on the market. It's quite an easy bet for someone who would want to continue playing Solana meme casino, because the way I'm seeing that is that if you're playing Sol memes, you would want to have a hedge against BTC dominance dropping, against absolute change of trend, against alts outperforming, because most likely you don't know shit. You don't know shit about alts, you don't know shit what is happening with BTC dominance dropping. You cannot even imagine that Ethereum can start to outperform, because it's ingrained so much in your mind by people who are paid by CIA that Ethereum will be doing nothing. This is just a hedge. And this is a very cheap hedge, because this is a very outsized bet. Just throwing 5k can be reaching crazy amounts of money. Especially if Ethereum will be breaking to new all-time highs, which I'm expecting. Imagine Ethereum at 6k, 8k, and 10k. What will be happening with this coin, which is the bull on Ethereum? There is nothing better out there. This is the most easiest thing. People are bullish on Ethereum, they're buying this thing. Nothing is better. There's also nothing similar from narrative point of view, and Solana meme marketing spent held with recognition on the market. It's quite an easy bet for someone who would want to continue playing Solana meme casino, but just have some exposure to Ethereum ecosystem to make sure he won't be missing the pump if it happens. It's a great hedge and leverage bet on Ethereum, and soon I will explain why. Sol 1 is a complete scam, bro. Trust me, Ethereum Mumu team are suing them. This guy is essentially the one who knows memes quite well, quite successful in the market, and it's a very interesting, like, he gave some more insights. I'm not going to tell about them currently. About some of them I will, because the guy who made $40 million on Pepe is actually holding this one. Shortened up Mumu on Ethereum thesis. There are no low camp memes on Ethereum with same narrative. Good chart with multiple 80% drop downs. Guy who made 40 million plus on Pepe is in holding. We will talk about this. Narrative compatible with both crypto natives and retail. Bull on the bull market. I explained this already. And all this stuff about Sol version doing the marketing for Sol people, that's insane. This should be well known for the whole market out there. Ethereum should lead moving further. We are at the peak bottom for memes and for Ethereum, though with memes limited downside is left. Crazy leverage counter market bet. It's crazy leveraged counter market bet. Market is bearish on Ethereum, market is bearish on memes. You're buying into this one. It's a crazy counter market leverage bet on Ethereum. And I will explain why as well. Not just because of the fact it's a meme coin, not just because of the fact it's a bull on Ethereum. There is something more. Solana meme coins became very efficient with limited upside. This thing you can just buy and hold. People don't want active management. They want to buy and hold. I remember I threw some money into Sol meme like recently. I got a 2x. I just didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to hold. I open up the next day, it's at 0. No one is selling meme coins to 0 on Ethereum, especially these ones with history. This is the core of the Murat thesis out there. A lot of influential people on the market liked Mumu and Sol, but it is scam, and Sol should not be doing that well further. Again, mainly because of efficiency, and there is no edge on the efficient market for new people to join. Bunch of supply is on the dead address, very reflective to even small buys. 30% of supply, I will talk about this, 30% of supply is actually in that address. The ratio between liquidity and market cap is very screwed up. It just needs small injections of liquidity to pump. Again, I was looking for the fastest horse. I was doing this research for multiple weeks. I don't think there is anything better from my point of view out there. Very easy to push the market cap with buys in a more bullish market setup. Memes with this liquidity market cap ratio proved to do best in the bull setup. Bread still in attention despite constantly being lower in liquidity than Toshi, but people just look at the market cap and don't care. This is something that happened. When Bread came to the market, People started to scream this is the largest meme coin on base. Whilst for the majority of the first several months, liquidity on Toshi actually was bigger. But just because of the liquidity market cap ratio, people were still screaming like Brett is the biggest meme, and it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. Good guys in memes agree. Expert opinion. And I just want to show you this one. I think it's a decent bet and good risk reward at these levels. I just showed you one already. This is a different guy. Most of you will actually know who this guy is, right? So expert opinion is very, very important. Screwed up liquidity market cap ratio. Again, I was looking for the fastest horse. This is the core for me to understand that I'm buying the fastest horse. I'm not buying ticker Bitcoin because it's just heavy. It just needs too much to increase in the market cap. I'm buying stuff like this because if I will explain. 30% of supply is burnt on the dead address. 1% of the coin is at $2 million market cap. Is $30,000, not $20,000 that usually is in memes, right? So at $2 million in market cap, 1% of Mumu Ethereum is $30,000. Usually in meme coins, if something is at $2 million in market cap, 1% of it is $20,000. The reason here it is more is because 30% of supply is actually burned on the dead address. The liquidity market cap ratio is screwed up, which means that the sooner you buy, the more supply would eventually, it just pumps heavily from any type of liquidity inflows. Like if you're buying these coins on the dips at the bottoms, you're exposed to so much more upside. It's pretty insane. And then it just pumps even from very, very low liquidity inflows. It's very reflective to any capital manipulations. When you buy, you push the market cap up significantly. We have seen that tokens like these do the best in the bullish market conditions. And again, I'm looking for the fastest horse in the best market conditions, in better market conditions. I'm not looking to be making money when no one wants to invest in crypto, everything is bearish. I do understand like it's not the time for me to be making a lot of money, most likely. Only just shorting, right? I'm looking to prepare myself for the bullish scenario out there and find out the fastest horse. You can recall Brad and Toshi case. Everyone was screaming that Brad is the biggest meme on base for several months at the beginning, despite the fact that Toshi had more liquidity. People didn't care, or did they? And were just paying attention to market cap. What happened after, right? I mean, with more fucked up liquidity market cap ratio 1, Brad flipped Toshi. You can also think about ticker Bitcoin. It's just too heavy to pump. Bobo and Andy on Ethereum battle is quite the same. Andy on Ethereum market cap also is very reflective to capital inflows, outflows. Like Andy on Ethereum was lower in liquidity in comparison to Bobo for the majority of the time. But it was flipping it in the market cap because of this ratio, right? And over time, it also became a self-fulfilling prophecy. And eventually it flipped Bobo. Because of the ratio like this, if you buy these types of memes low, you're effectively leveraging up your leverage bet. So if you're buying a meme coin with this type of ratio in terms of liquidity and market cap, if you're buying it low, you're pretty much leveraging up your leverage bets. As you can see here, $122,000 in liquidity, 1.6 million market cap at this stage. Even the smallest movements on this chart, they push the price of this thing. I can show you something most likely. $10,000 buy right here, which was 2 days ago, right? This one. So it pushed the market cap from around $2.1 to $2.4 million. Just $10,000 buy. This is nothing. With Ethereum whales, with Ethereum going to new all-time highs, with everything pumping, this is absolutely nothing. The chart looks nice, and I can also show you the older version of the chart because they changed liquidity pools in the process, right? Here's the full chart at this stage. Just insane. The only thing you can say is that we might be accumulating for some more time from here, right? Before the expansion, but this just looks awesome from my point of view. It went to $35 million all-time high, right? Giant accumulation with anyone who actually been able to buy this at the bottoms. And right now we are at the support, at the core support of this asset at this stage. Passive management is always more than active management. People don't want to trade. People want to buy, hold, become members of communities, vibe together, and make money by doing nothing. Active management always loses to passive management. This is another nail in Solana coffin. You cannot just buy and hold there. Oftentimes, I'm talking about Solana. You have to trade, buy new memes. Holding culture is different. It's pretty much absent on Solana. Like holding culture, especially currently, it's absent on Sol. Although I do believe that people that are accumulating currently and will just hold, they will outperform 99% of Solana traders 100%. On Ethereum, you can just buy and hold, and oftentimes people that hold the most outperform. Ask $40 million Pepe whale who's holding Mumu now as well. And Mumu on Ethereum, you can just buy and hold. Something from CZ, if you can't hold, you won't be rich. But if you are buying assets in the first place that are just not designed for holding, you also cannot be rich. You have to be buying assets that are designed for holding, that actually appreciating over time. And you have to see clear reasons why they will appreciate over time. And I think I gave you a bunch already. Alternatives to repeat Bobo-like run. There was an ETH meme coin that did a Bobo-like run back in September, October of 2024, right after choppy summer. Joe. Interesting thing about this meme was that a lot of Solana folks actually supported this meme, right? So we might have a similar case with Mumu on Ethereum here, because a lot of Solana folks, they know Mumu from Sol version of it, right? It went up from $2 million to $60 million in market cap. Still, they didn't reach Bobo levels, but pretty nice. It was like 30x over the course of probably like 2 months or something. I'm not seeing alternatives that have same type of holders. $40 million plus Pepe whale. Same history, same marketing spend to educate the market to realized adherence to Murad thesis, liquidity market cap ratio, and bull during a bull run on Ethereum. The narrative is just crazy from my point of view. The narrative is so good, it's been stolen and launched on Sol by a certain Campbell, but Ethereum should outperform from here. Nothing comes close in my opinion. All the good stuff is either high in market cap or loses narrative wise. Might have other factors for market cap being higher that Mumu does not have. Here mainly I'm talking about that if some coins are higher, they might not be high because they're better. They might be high just because they have a better supply control. They pretty much just have stronger internal cabals, right? And this is definitely a weakness out there. We will talk about this as well. But the bet here as well on the fucked up liquidity and market cap ratio and crazy inflows, crazy good inflows, more inflows into Ethereum and Ethereum ecosystem that we even have seen last year, right? Because from my point of view, bull market never happened for Ethereum and altcoins. Imagine Ethereum at $6,000. Where will Pepe be at this level? Where Mumu will be? What is the alternative? Open up 50,000 Ethereum loan or put $15,000 into Mumu and be illiquidatable. I do believe the downside here is quite limited. Like the lowest you might be going is 50% from here, which is like you won't get liquidated if this happens, right? If we are going back there, you won't get liquidated because it's just a meme coin. Risk is limited here in my opinion, upside is explosive and reward is great. Let's take a look at the top holder. So we're going into the holders chart, right? We can see top holder has 2%. It's very, very important for us to check out and to understand what top holder actually holds and what does he has, right? So we go into the top holder. You probably know this tag. He has $15 million. Majority of it is in Ethereum, right? And his fifth coin is Mumu. He has more Mumu than he has Mock. He has more Mumu, one more time, than he has Mock. This guy definitely knows how to hold. And from some things that I heard from the team, he's actually quite active within the community. He's actually doing stuff for the project out there as well. And this is just one of them. Like there's a huge support from Pepe verse community from this summer, right? People around Bobo as well, they know about this meme. It's a market meme. Like it's a huge support of these people who were able to catch Ethereum meme coins back in the summer of 2023 and made a bunch of money on them, right? This is the top holder of the coin. And this guy, he has $15 million in Pepe currently, but Pepe is down 6x from all-time high, 4x at this stage. So at all-time high, he has $60 million in Pepe, 60, right? This is one of the biggest, largest Pepe whales. And he's holding more Mumu than he's holding Mock. That's pretty insane. Risks. I talked around on the marketplace. I asked different people, so I have to share their opinion as well and share the risks that I'm seeing. GT holders. This is something that I heard from one of the guys in the market. Feedback I got from talking to people about it that know the project. The sell-off at $35 million and kind of like the inability to reach back to these levels back around here, just went up to $9 million and holders just sold again, right? Which was kind of like probably like a 9x since the absolute bottoms, which is pretty nice. But yeah, like it was not able to reach previous all-time highs. This one is important. Might be seen as better play by the market, therefore always will be limited and would have to wait for Bobo to come up. Also, plus in some conditions, so if a bet, at least it will go up. So from one point of view, if it's seen as better play on the market, like it will be always going up along with Bobo. From other point of view, the preferable scenario is probably decoupling from the status of the better play and just reaching the price discovery by itself. I do believe that this is something that might be happening. I don't see why it should be the better play of Bobo at this stage, but this is the situation that essentially is happening, right? And market is quite strong in these type of beliefs. It's very, very hard to persuade the market is in something that like this coin is not actually the better play of some other coin, right? But I do believe that actually this might be happening, and this is definitely the bull scenario for this bull out there. Again, it's a very, very simple, stupid thought process. With Bobo, we were coming out of the bear market. It was leading. Right now, we are still in the bull market for a year plus at least. But Bobo definitely has nice support from the cable that most likely won't be joining Mumu. I would say 100% it won't be joining Mumu at this stage, right? So this is something that I essentially had to share. We also have to go through the bearish Ethereum outlook by Ansem. Ethereum recently re-entered its bear market range of 900 to 2030 bucks, mid-range 1455, FTX lows 1k, lows during 3-hour capital implosion 900 bucks. Landscape for Ethereum is much different now than it was during 2022. 2022 was consensus launch for nearly all liquid allocators in crypto with very little competition from other layer ones. Outlook now is much more bearish generally due to the lack of increased activity in the Ethereum ecosystem, plus most of the value capture from base, I agree with that, and emergence of Sol taking majority of retail activity and competition from Celestia on the DA side. The total transaction fees down, active users down, mainnet activity down, Ethereum BTC down minus 75%, Ethereum ETFs seeing net outflows. Ethereum now actively net inflationary again instead of deflationary because of this decreased activity to the tune of about $30 million per week in increased supply. Argument for Ethereum dominance is now much more weaker than it was last time price was trading in this range, added to the fact that we now have everyone who has bought Ethereum since the beginning of 2024 is currently underwater. This is a dangerous situation because if we drop lower, it might just cause like a panic sell-offs because people were holding for so much time, it's going even lower than the entry points, they might just decide to sell. Compounded with the fact that we just began a general downtrend in crypto plus equities and retail activity is already slowing down across the board, evidenced by lower DAX volumes and most popular app Pump Fund seeing a reduction in daily fees by 70%. Bearish idea run on the reclaim of range support 2916. So it seems unlikely in the last 2-3 months. Very, very interesting overview. It was provided yesterday. I actually think despite of all of this, Ethereum will just be pumping and it will just be dominating because like I don't think it takes much from it, and we are honestly delayed at this stage. And ETFs are there, like all this money inflows, all of the like BlackRock trying to build on Ethereum as well. Eric Trump talking on Ethereum. Like I don't think all of these was just for nothing, right? I do tend to think that we still might be in the middle of manipulation where they're just accumulating at this stage. But let's move on. Presence, because like we're not talking about Ethereum, we're talking about Mumu here, the meme coin on Ethereum, and even with Ethereum going to previous all-time highs, memes on Ethereum will just go crazy because for the current crypto market participants, their exposure to Ethereum is memes, like that they're not buying Ethereum itself, right? Most of them. Presence of a version on Sol that might be recovering if the funds were not lost from Mumu and Sol and project founders would decide to pump them back into the chart. Not likely, but can happen. I do think that most of the supply control on Mumu and Sol should be lost at this stage. And I also have seen that Solstice was getting liquidated quite heavily in the recent market dumps. So let's see on this one. In general, the thesis against the recovery of Mumu and Sol is just that Solana should not be recovering because it's too efficient at this stage, right? That's the take I have. Market won't like support the narrative. Why? This is something that might happen as well. If you guys just and people watching this, they just won't like. And I do understand that like this piece of information is more like an information. It's just to provide a direction because I do believe that there is a very small amount of people that are privileged to actually be accumulating at this stage, right? Most are just sitting praying for the portfolios to at least to come to break even, right? But I do believe if you are in a position to accumulate, this is a very, very nice bet. I do believe that. And like you see the whole process as well. I might fuck up accumulation for influential figures, which will result in not enough of them being in and pushing it. High chance it won't be pumping much now. And I'm just presenting the thesis so people would know and decide over time, as very few are in a position to accumulate right now. So this one is pretty interesting because if I will screw up the accumulation period, if you guys will pump the market cap of this thing currently, it might be the case that influential people that will watch this video over time and will like the thesis, they won't be buying into this meme because of the fact that it will be just too high, right? And then we will have to push it ourselves and things like that, right? So in a way, we kind of need these influential figures to be buying into a meme coin at this stage, right? To be accumulating currently. So they would be able to push it further into the future and tell about it to the followers and things like that. I do believe that this setup is quite nice at this stage, right? And the market will be joining anyway because it's just too explosive. And I think the narrative is quite good. It's a CTO. No one should have substantial amount of supply to play with, though. So in terms of like giving out some supply to some influencers and stuff, like it's a CTO in the first place. No cabal like for Bobo is present. Similar but not at the same extent. Bet here is that Ethereum will finally be bullish and ecosystem will be much more risk on with more liquidity than it was last year. And let's do a spreadsheet as the finalization. I'm quite tired at this stage as well. You guys probably are as well, but we just have to finish this up. And I want to be harsh. With this course as well. Is there a notable solid flow of capital you're recognizing to come into this coin sector in the future? So it's pretty much a bet on Ethereum. If Ethereum pumps, it's like it's yes or no. So if you don't think that Ethereum will pump, I don't think you should be buying that, right? So I would even put this at 10 because it's a yes or no. If you believe Ethereum pumps, you buy it. If you 100% sure that nothing will be happening with Ethereum in this market, that we are in the bear market, Ethereum is going to zero, I don't think you should be touching it, 100%. Is there a big difference between current interest and future interest in the coin sector? Popular or mispriced, 100%. Is it hard to buy coin? Just on the DEX, no, it's not hard. Who is your exit liquidity? So pretty much people who will be jumping in later. From crypto natives, these are guys that are not paying attention at this stage. And then they will see Ethereum pumping. They understand they will late and they will form a buy into this thing. And retail, I definitely see retail buying into this thing as well because like it's a bull in the bull market. There is nothing easier to actually buy. And Solstice definitely did a very good job on explaining this thesis of the bull on the bull market. Is there a narrative you are positioned before that the market is not yet aware of? It's not like the market is aware of, it's just like the market is based on the things that the market is saying. It's not positioning for the pump of Ethereum. And this is pure position for the pump of Ethereum. And it's quite risky as well because there are definitely safer bets, but I'm playing this in a degenerate way, right? Is there a compelling story behind the project that will resonate with future holders? Yeah, 100%. I do believe that. Is this a new narrative the market is yet to get excited about? In a way, it's old one, right? But it's the narrative of bull run again. So we're definitely not in the bull run at this stage. I would even put it at 9 because it's exciting. When and if Ethereum will be pumping, it will be exciting. And it will be exciting to be behind the bull on Ethereum when things are pumping. It will be exciting 100%. What do experts think of your thesis? I showed you a couple, they like it, right? So I put it at 9. And again, like one guy, you would like, most of you would actually know who did this. Has this type of coin previously appealed to your exit liquidity? Well, it went up to $35 million and Sol version went up to like 350 million. So yeah, 100%. Like retail, they were definitely buying Mumu on Sol back there. And this one, yeah, like if we will have retail journey like us, like people coming from stock market and things like that, it should be happening. When you look at this project, are you able to see multiple steps ahead of the promising future that is not yet priced in by the market? Yeah, I actually see that. I just explained the whole thing. Is there a die-hard cult leading a project who is obsessed with conquering crypto industry who reminds you? Nah, this one is like at 4 because like there are good people, but there are like many, right? So it's probably more similar to Bobo out there. But Bobo actually has like a def rect, but yeah, like it's not even similar to Bobo, I think. How viral can this coin go? Is it something you can see millions of people talk about? I would say like this part actually depends on how well Ethereum will actually be doing, right? Is the project based on new technology, new sector, or some sort of new innovation? No, it's not. Has the coin been through a pump and dump market cycle? Pump 10x, 100%. It actually pumped to 100x. What is thesis and validation? Some cable launching just Mumu on Ethereum, right? This is definitely in the books, it might be happening. But then they will not follow like Murad thesis, but if they have enough of exit liquidity on the market, like they can be doing that. But I don't think in the current market conditions anyone will be doing that, and the hope is that once the market conditions are better, this Mumu will be higher and they won't be able to replace. In validation, Mumu and Sol kind of coming back up. We actually kind of like parasites on marketing work that Mumu and Sol had done in a way. And obviously Mumu and Sol stole the narrative initially. But yeah, like the nice part about this take, about this bet is that most of the market, like they know about Mumu, right? About Mumu, the meme, 100%. They just don't know about Mumu and ETH. But like this thought process, all of this video, it will explain to them. So I pretty much gave like several thesis and validations. I would put it at 6. Competitors, well, there is Mumu and Sol. Other than that, on Ethereum at the same market cap, like it's pretty undervalued from my point of view. And I do think because market sees this as a better play, and I think it should not be a better play. I think it should like start price discovery as its own thing, right? So let's do the calculation. Some of these things divided by 16 most likely, yeah, 15, 8.7. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. So yeah, this is it. Thank you very much for watching this one. Probably longer one, but I just wanted to present this thesis that I formed. And let me know in the comments if you actually agree with the thesis, if you think like there are some better bets, because again, like I think at all like all the Ethereum memes in the same like market cap ratio with the similar like risk reward. I'm not seeing anything better at this stage. Obviously, it depends on the market, whether or not the market will pick up this thing, but I think it's quite nice. Thank you very much for watching this one. Stay healthy and rich, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
The biggest money will always be made when you buy quality shit that makes complete and total sense, despite if that thing looks dead, despite if that thing looks like it doesn't have traction. Because here's the thing, if you can buy something when it doesn't have traction and flip it at a much higher price to people when it does have traction. So that's the thing. You don't actually want to buy things when they have all the fucking traction in the world. You want to buy them before they get much more traction in the future. So truly the true test to actually be able to make millions is when the entire market disagrees, when the entire market is dead, when nobody gives a fuck about the thing you're looking at, and you say, you know what? All you motherfuckers looking at these coins in the world, you're all wrong. What I have found, despite low volume, despite no one giving a shit about it, I know this is the shit. When you can stand up against 99% of the world about a play and say, you know what, I have confidence in this. I know there's actual value or there's upside here, but yet the market doesn't realize it today. That is when you will not just win, you will win big.